Oh,
Yeah, nice.
look at
Yes,
this.
yeah.
The wood.
Lots of wood, leather, wood boxes, gongs.
Hey, Martin,
Bongs.
everyone.
Bongs.
Stephen or
Gongs. Not bongs. Gongs.
Ryan. Oh, Ryan. Oh,
Saraswati's back.
Saraswati. They all have their little orbits. Once a year, once every 5 years.
Yeah.
Hey there. How you doing?
Once a week, yes. Angelica, nice to see you. Oh, there's my man. I can't see at all. Bukowski. Axel, nice to see you, Axel. Eric from Santa Barbara. Yeah, well, welcome everyone. We're gonna wait again a minute or two for some live people to show up. We got to take them out of the freezer, let them thaw, make them vertical. Yeah. So you understand somewhat the pointer? We're looking at that which is looking for a pointer. We're looking at that, yes? So, because what happens I ran into in spirituality is the way I heard things was like an order. And then there was all these new orders. Like I just was listening to something driving around and not to be judging. Hey, honey, come on in. Do not judge people. Well, to me, that would sound like an order that I was going to fail. Yeah, but then the solution from this idea is you're not that which is judging people. Yeah. So the interest isn't about not judging or judging. It's that the interest is lost in the one is seen as the judger and the one who wants to be seen as non-judgmental. I just don't think that works because the program of the action figure is comparison and judging. Yes. Remember one of the earliest things I did when I was a kid, I would lay down and I would look at a stationary tree to see if the clouds were moving. Yeah. So I looked at the tree and then the clouds, and I could see they were even moving away or moving towards. Yeah. I didn't see the movement, but with a stationary thing, I could see the movement. Yes. So this is programming. This isn't something. There isn't a personal ghost inside the machine. There's a machine that says there's something inside the machine. Yeah. So the selfing implies that there's someone home, but there's actually no one home. And what you would think could only happen if there was a person happens without a person. Yeah. It's that simple. So came in, it was on public radio. I think it was on mindfulness. And as soon as I heard that, these people are trying to be mindful, and then everything they see, they don't try to judge it. Give me a break. Yeah. The seeing as a person is a judgment in itself. I don't see how you're going to get before when you're using what comes after. It just doesn't work. Yeah. So I remember it sounded like orders. Then they were new orders. Yep. When I was just running around like crazy, there wasn't those orders. Then I get, quote unquote, become spiritual, and a whole new set of orders show up that I've got to have equanimity, I've got to accept and all this. And the point is that which wants to accept can accept. Yeah, it's not built for that. It's built to compare and to judge and to have preferences and to have desires and have aversion. Yes, it's a movement. To say that you give up all your desires is ridiculous because they're not yours. The system moves towards things and moves away from things. Yeah, and you could call the desire to move, the moving towards a desire, and the moving away an aversion. But this is the dualistic movement. Where does it say there's a third party in there? There's just the movement. Yeah. There's movement away, movement towards. That's not two. There's not a third thing in there that's doing the moving away and is doing the moving towards. This is what this message brings, at least what it brought to me, because my mental logic, when people were comparing the two, there was a third one there, unsaid, which was you. Yeah. And so it's trying to see not two from that one, makes like one of the aspect of the two more important than the other. So yes, I'm going to desire, but now I'm going to desire the truth, and I'm not going to desire doing well. And like in AA, we have a lot of meetings, and a lot of people come up there, and they're quite rich, and they say, "Oh, it doesn't mean anything," but they're never giving you any money, or they're never signing a title of a house over to you. But it doesn't mean anything. Give me a break. It does mean something. Yeah, but it doesn't mean what we think it means. It's the meaning of it is reflecting the one who has the meaning. Yeah. So instead of thinking, "Oh, I'm selfish or selfless," you use the idea of selfish or selfless to point out who is selfish or selfless. And that works, yeah, because it stuns the whole system. And then there's a pause. And when you're not the observer nor the observed, what are you? And you find out. And the thing is, we're waiting for something like that old thing, waiting for Godot. They were sort of like waiting for God to show up. But if in a sense, the idea of God is that it's always here. So you're never going to have the event of it showing up because it never left. Yeah. You see? So the truth is not, is about the mental logic. It doesn't fit the mental logic. The truth is about the mental logic. And then you see the mental logic has severe deficiencies. It has a lot of blind spots. And after you take them personal and see how all the work to try to change it doesn't change shit, literally, yeah, then you come to a conclusion. Hopefully you hear this message, and the message brings you a relief from that need to be liberated. So you're now relieved from the need to be liberated. You're not liberated. That which you're liberated from, that person that needs to be liberated. Yeah? Here you go. Come on in. So this took me from one set of orders, then another set of orders, to a disarming. Yeah. And then there wasn't a new set of orders. Non-duality doesn't come with a manual. It doesn't. It's not a 50-page manual how to do or don't. It's just an invitation to recognize something. And that recognition of whatever you recognize is not you. And then you find that you are the seeing of what you're not, actually. Yeah. Instead of what you're not trying to find what's seeing, you see then what you're not trying to find what's seeing. And then it changes the whole meaning, and then the weight of things shifts. And to me, it produces the possibility of traveling lighter through this thing. Does time stop for you? Not as the action figure. Today is Saturday. There seemed to have been a vague idea called Friday. Yeah. And I'm looking, yeah, bro, how are you? Come on in. Yeah, nice to see you. Yes. And we have a content testimonial here. Yeah, very happy. Yeah. So this is what the message of non-duality has brought about here. Yes. Something was presented, it got past the doorman, sunk in, and then I've observed bubbling ups and things like that. And the bubbling ups would tell me something, in a sense. And then there was an ending of a lot of stuff. There was not constantly trying to be convinced, but being convinced. Yeah. And then the idea of surrender was over, and it was surrender. And it actually has initiated the last answer to a very important question, like, what's going on, Alfie? You know, this question, and I haven't found any need for another answer, which is really a great answer, literally. Yeah. And then, you know, people are working hard about trauma. You can have an event of trauma without the event, and then there's an observing of it. And in recovery, what we would do, we would bring it to step 6 and 7, which is we just declare I'm entirely ready to have this reconfigured, and I ask that power to do it, and it allows the energy to be as raw as it wants to be, because one side doesn't have any adhesion to anymore. Yeah. So what was held back, the body's ancient memory of trauma triggers, you feel it completely, and then nothing actually happens, right? Except healing, I feel. Yeah. I do not believe when something's leaving your premises, you should stop it and give it name and form. I would just let it leave your premises. Yeah? Just when some feeling gets triggered by an event and it's like got a lot of oomph, just it's ready, it wants to express, let it leave. Give it 5 minutes on the stage and don't name it you. Yeah. It's awesome. So all the time, like it or not, something is using you not to become better, but if becoming better is part of the most use of you, it will. Yeah, that's what's awesome. So you get changed, not because it's about you, but it's about being useful. Yeah, it's awesome, really. And I feel here, humbly, the greatest attitude an action figure can have is know that it's going to be used. Yeah, and be clear on what is using it. And in a way, we call two-ness. Two-ness is a way we will see a lot of things. And as Jesus said, you cannot serve two masters at the same time. So he was seeing the duality of it. And in my upbringing here, it's in AA, we just have a statement. Either there's a faith in finite self or there's a faith in the infinite. Yeah, the faith remains the same, and we represent faith. What we put it in, or what the faith is put in, we don't put it in there. We do not do shit. Yeah. So the faith, whatever vehicle it's put in, is going to manifest, and you're going to know the tree by its fruits. Yeah. But it's the same faith. The same faith is producing a seemingly real hell subjectively in your head. That same faith will be the basis of your traveling easy and comfortable today. Same energy. It's completely neutral, but when it's put to use here, it's going to have one pole or the other, because here is an event of duality. Yeah. So there's something that can be super great, can be used for super bad here. Yes, it's just the way it goes. Just the way it goes. So you surrender that position of being the director of all that, and then you find your rightful state as an action figure as being the directed or the driven. And the idea that you're the driver and the driven in your life is at the same time is what non-duality negates. You're not, if you've been driven, it's a very strong hint you're not the driver. Yes. So there is no self-driving car, no matter how much they try to tell you. Yeah, there is no self-driving car. So the subjectiveness of our life, yes, is seen as the driver, but it's just another aspect of the driven. Yeah. Yes. So I find in the driven, this is why I feel most people, and there's no need to try to change it, are driven by purpose. You know, you see people who have identified with a job they've done, and then they retire, and they can go quite morose, and things can go off the rails. You know, they start drinking too much and everything like that, because that sense of purpose, yeah, isn't available anymore. And now they don't feel like they have any meaning. And that's like a death knell to the self, to the head. Yes? Yes. So this allows you to have purpose without the one is using the purpose. Yes? So you're being used, but you're not the user. It brings a certain humility that really works well. So if something incredible comes through you, you're clear it's not you. Yeah. And then if something incredibly bad comes through you, you're also clear it's not you. Yeah. It's pretty good. So the non-duality, the message or the understanding keeps helping the action figure. But there is no degree in non-duality. Yet the way it will be used here, there'll be seeming degrees, but there's nothing new in non-duality. Nothing has ever changed. We have a difficult of seeing what's always here. So we think, therefore, it's not here. So we're waiting for some kind of arrival. And you're missing the point there. Yeah. And what do? Try to change that? You just see you're not that which is waiting for it to arrive. I do not think you need another wave of orders. The orders of morality and, acting out when you got disciplined by either your family or the society. Yeah. And you had to become somewhat aware of what you were doing because it was getting you in jail. And then that judgment and critiquing subjectiveness that went with that. And then the next wave is a spirituality, which promises a relief, but it just produces another narrative that's watching you like a hawk, and I mean, what ruins your mindfulness? 1 second. 1 second, someone got behind the lines, which is inevitable. It blows your whole idea. I saw it in that retreat where people were trying to be mindful. It was a long time, a lot of days, and at 6 o'clock during the day, it was the upper middle way retreat. Great food, nice setting, eagle claw bathtub in the room. You didn't even want to go home. It was pretty nice. And you were doing like 13 hours a day. The way I used to break it up would be 6 sitting and 7 walking. Yeah. But you had to basically, that was the commitment in a way. And then most people would be walking in the hills like little sedated cows, just walking around with this. And they'd be slowly moving to the dinner building at 6. And one day I was there nearby. And so I got in there first and I walked in and I was used to what was going on. And then it was a surprise. That day they had ice cream on the buffet line. And immediately the head started churning. Should I get the ice cream first before it's gone? Or should I get my dinner and then go back? I said, no, I better get the ice cream first and then the dinner. So there I was sitting with my bowl, which gave me a sense of ease and comfort. And I watched people come in an incredible, quote unquote, spiritual condition, which was incredibly dependent on the setting. Yeah. As long as the setting was correct, it would continue. But one aberration in the setting, AKA ice cream, sent the whole thing off the rails. So they were walking in, we had that look like a contented cow, in a weird way. It is. They're slowly moving. And suddenly their eyes landed on the ice cream immediately. The whole that controlled condition blew up. One little variable ruined the whole 2 weeks. Their eyes immediately desire, go get it. They ate the fastest I ever seen them eat. No 35 chews. It was whoa, get up there. So spirit peace is not conditional. Managing setting doesn't make anything so. It makes it so as long as the setting is held. Yeah. People can't be on a 5-year retreat and still get paychecks. Yeah. They're going to have to leave sooner or later. And that condition is fragile. I remember they talked to me. I remember this strongly. You would only see one person in the morning, and it basically like, what are you going to say? Seeing you, walking meditation. So at the end, I said, all right, I did my commitment. I want to take off. And they questioned me. They said, well, do you have your car here? I go, yeah, it's in the parking lot. I said, how are you going to get home? They said, I'm going to drive. Then they go, are you going on the highway 101? I go, probably. No, do not go on highway 101. And I'm going, why? It's going to upset you. Yes, all that movement. And I could see that yes, but we're talking about our inherent condition that should be able to override traffic, maybe. But after 2 weeks of being seemingly completely immersed in it, I came out, I must have some defense against the sound of traffic, throwing my piece out the window. Then they go, hey, are you good to listen at the radio? Go, yeah, maybe. He said, what station? No, do not listen to that. Get some classical or something like that. And as they described my seeming piece, it seemed like it was quite fragile. Yeah, and it was sort of like a very, very ancient crystal glass ball that if I even looked at it the wrong way, it would break. That's not it, is it? It's like Zen says, you can't use activity to produce stillness. That would be activity. You cannot use setting to produce an inherent condition. That would just be setting. It would just be another manipulated condition. Yeah. So you're using a manipulated condition, and it's just producing a manipulated condition. And you'll know that when you leave. When you're in it, you may not know it, but when you leave the manipulated condition, that seeming inherent condition you were in seems to go. Yeah. And then you're back in the roller coaster of this and that. Yeah. Because you are not going to arrive at the inherent condition by building conditions. Or you cannot use activity to produce stillness. That would be activity. Yeah. So the dilemma is like something's off there, humbly. There's something off that, and you can see it now. No one's having a 10-day retreat in Hoboken, New Jersey, or Newark, and even when they do those retreats, they used to have one where for 7 days you'd be a homeless person, but you knew you weren't on the 8th day. So it's you can't manufacture what it's like to be homeless unless you're homeless. And homeless means you don't got a home in the near horizon. That's part of the homelessness, is that it's going to be a forever state. You can't be homeless and then go home at 8 and take a nice shower and bath. That's not it. Yes. You can mimic it and make it seem like something, but it ain't. So to me, this is the truth of this message. You don't do anything. Yeah. And whatever seems to be done usually fails you, and you're brought to a point of being convinced that in concerning your inherent condition, it's inherent before you try to make it inherent. In other words, it's always so before you try to make it always so in this other condition, which it cannot be always so in this condition, because this condition is this and that. It's dualistic. So if there's a wave this way, there's a dip there. It just goes that way. Yeah. So that which is inherently a condition can't be mimicked by a dualistic condition. No matter how long you stretch the retreat out, it's still going to be, there's going to be an awkward atmosphere of anxiety when it stops. Yes. Because it's that condition isn't inherent. It doesn't stand on its own. It's been made up. Yeah. It's been produced so it mimics something, but the mimicking isn't that. So this is it's just different than it. It's different. It disarms you. The maintenance is basically, if something is always realized, then the realization of it is maintained by that. There's no needing to maintain something that's always realized. If you jump in there to stretch it out so you're always realized, that's using, once again, something to get something it can't get. Yeah. So you realize that what has trauma isn't you. And therefore, then the trauma is allowed to escape, because it's being held as it's so much you don't want to deal with it. But when it's not you, something's going to bring it up, and it's going to be like you had a captured cloud that's finally released. Yeah. And when it gets here, it has a lot of solidity. When it gets into the sky, it dissipates. And it's just an energy being unformed and released, so to speak. Yes. Yes. So, can't use activity to produce stillness. That would be activity. You're not going to arrive at the inherent condition by managing and controlling a temporary condition. Yes? Because in hierarchy, that which comes before has more influence than that which comes after. And the before, there's nothing before that. Yeah. So whatever happens before that is not before that, it's after that. Yeah. So I believe all this stuff is meant to fail, so that when you see the desire of the intellect to understand by trying to study philosophy and everything, and you see another aspect of trying to get it, a desire to belong and all this stuff, and you see it's not you, that the nakedness of all that movement is not you, it refers back to the emperor has no clothes. Yes. And after a while, you don't have to pray to see the emperor with no clothes. You'll see the emperor has no clothes with a lot of clothes on. Yes. So what used to convince you doesn't convince you anymore. And if you're not convinced, it ain't so to speak. Yeah. 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 So that's how I see it today. I saw it this morning because something happened, triggered a trauma in me. I haven't physically felt anything that much in, I don't know, many, many, many years. And it was awesome. It was like a volcano became active, and it was great to watch it blow and not try to do anything about it. It was cool. I think it had a lot to do with the traumas of being arrested and everything so many times, getting run over, probably getting completely mistreated as an impersonal object in the hospital for 10 months. Maybe that had to do with it. But it was a big bang, it had a lot of power. I could see how it was given more power by having it contained. So finally, when it blew, again, it dissipates into the mass of energy. Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool. Had nothing to do what triggered it, because that didn't matter. It's the volume didn't match the event. Yeah. But I know a lot of people's action figure have taken a lot of hits, and they've been run into by other things. And a lot of people try to use trauma as a cause of everything. I don't see that. I see trauma is an effect, and we play the role of giving the meaning to trauma. Trauma doesn't give us a meaning, we give it a meaning. Yes, so there's always something before what happens here until you get to the before. Yeah, so the idea of you is before most of the other ideas. Yeah, but the idea of you is not before the before. So you see, instead of when a trauma thing happens, you don't see it there. You see that there's no one that it's happening to. That's pretty cool. Because the way it's been locked in is there's a fear of a one that does not want to see that. Yeah. So It was cool, very cool. It just shows once again the action figure is pretty fucked up. A lot of ways. I don't think you could have a guaranteed master of complete transformation and be fucked. I just don't think you can't put the infinite in the finite, so to speak, and expect it to act infinitely. It's just the way it goes. So yeah, I'm really happy this message is around non-duality, because a lot of the things that failed were never seen that way. They were always seen that they would probably work. They would probably work if I just did more. Yeah. So I saw that with my own thing. I remember I was living in a town and I did a Friday night Zen meditation. And then I got a weekend Zen meditation. Then, all right, 5-day thing, then 10-day, then 14-day, then go to Thailand, do 21 days, and on and on. And basically, every time I left the setting, that fragile crystal ball would crack, yes? But the only answer I would be given would be more. You got to do more. Yeah. And so to me, it led me to the highest level, supposedly, of meditation was Vipassana, and go to Burma, because that's where the real good Vipassana is. Like you were hunting like a pizza or somewhere. The best pizza makers are the Burmese Buddhists, and fucking make sure it's sprinkled with Vipassana. Okay, so I went there. I didn't do it there, but I did it with a Burmese guy in Thailand. So, and then basically you get to the point, it's either monk or no. you gotta become a monk. It's just not working. So, no. So the logic I feel we've observed, I mean, many times. There's nothing new. It just doesn't. It sees the hallway, but not the doors. It's just crazy. It's a very, very limited. It's like a horse with those things they put on, blinders, and then the person who's pulling the reins basically controls what the horse sees. Yeah, because it's only looking this way, and then it pulls it this way, and this is sort of like the head riding us. Yeah, we got these blinders, and we can look at thousands of things, but we only look one way in a self-centered manner, which is, how does this pertain to me? And the limits of seeing it in any nuance are fucking lost. Basically lost. I mean, how long can you ride with that? Yeah, I believe the action figure is more adaptable than cockroaches, but you shouldn't adapt to certain fucking things. Yes, and humans can adapt a lot, but I think it's not an advantage at times. Yeah, so what can that failed system show you? It's failed. Yeah, and therefore, once the possibility that I could see another way, I'm telling you, it's probably going to facilitate seeing another way. Yeah. But before the egg hatches, you got to lay the egg. I think where the egg is laid, yeah, the possibility arises, and then you see it, and then things change, and it manifests. Yes, yes, yeah. So, all right, anyone have any questions? I hope I probably don't understand the word I was trying to say, but the words are carrying something. Yeah. It's almost as if you had, when you look at something with infrared rays, you see things differently. Well, let's say you look at language and then you put these on and you see Satsang using language to transport an energy. Yes. A shared energy, not like when it goes here, it leaves here. No. Yes. It's all there. So if you had that X-ray, you would see what's happening in satsang. It's not the words, obviously, and understanding is not necessary. The words are carrying something to us, usually unaware by us. And then the words don't matter if you understood or not. The thing gets in sooner or later, because you're like a lazy Susan. So let's say 5 times a week we have these talks. The first 4 times it's not getting through. Suddenly the situation, that one opening is there, it gets in. Yeah. Then that starts to create a groove where satsang works. You go and you feel different. Yeah, there you go. So that opening that was by chance is now confirmed. Yes, and you're feeling something. You're feeling truth with association. So we associate, and there's the truth. Yeah. So to me, this is like the Turkish bath of spirituality. You come in here, just yeah. Doesn't give you anything, and man, that's awesome. That is so awesome. Because if it gave you anything, you would grow on it. By not giving you anything, you're confronted with what already is, not what you think something should be. And then there'll be a sense of knowing, and that knowing you'll see is way before knowledge. It's different than knowledge. It doesn't have giant libraries or thumbnail drives. It's just a super clarity at the moment. Yeah. And then maybe you'll, as an action figure, you'll see the linkage of situations and see coincidences, giant like streams of coincidences in your life. And you'll see them in other people's lives. Yeah, like we have this a lot in recovery. A lot of people in recovery came in with absolutely nothing. And from that point on, a whole life grew around them. And you can see, and it was based mostly by coincidences. Yeah, they went to go somewhere and they had a certain idea. It was actually for a completely different idea. Yes, and then things happen, and you see a whole life coagulate around this one idea of sobriety. It's awesome. Well, so you start seeing, and then you're now paused that you can see the beauty right in front of you. Yeah, through sound here, all of that. Yes. So, whatever. Anyone have anything to say?
Yeah, Paul, Eric from Santa Barbara has his hand up.
All right, Eric from Santa Barbara.
Hi, Paul.
Hey.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just wanted to see if I'm getting this right. So it's not these thoughts, not the thinker, watching the action figure in the imaginary place.
Yes, there's no watcher. There's just watching. Yes. The watching is already happening. Awareness is not something you and I do. Yeah, there's a field of awareness that a lot of things are seen or not seen, but the awareness is always there. So there is watching, but without a watcher. Yes. And
yes.
How much watching happens, there's no watcher ever derives from it. Yeah. Yes. And the thing is, if there's a reminder handy, the reminder of what you used to take to be you as not you is a pretty good reminder. Yeah. So the same streaming of the head that you were just consenting with all day as you, about others from you, is now questioned. It doesn't have to be interrogated because it will fall upon itself. Yes. It already knows it's bogus. So the slightest idea of you seeing it as bogus, it will, that seemingly opaque wall will be seen through. And then more will be revealed. Yes. And then you'll be convinced of the one thing that would be good to be convinced about, which is what you are, by being reminded by what you're not. Yeah. So I am the awareness of what I'm not. That's basically what I am. I can't describe it other than that way. So it's described through negation. Yeah. So you're basically describing what you are by negating what you're not. Yeah. There's no huge opinion. Oh, I'm really what I'm not, or really, no, it's just what you're not. It's just, the idea of Paul was launched in a manufactured point. Yes. You had a period of life that you have no memory of, yet you seem to have been there. Your family have pictures of you, and yet there was no Chris or Paul. That idea got developed. Yes. So there was a growing into that idea, and there can be a growing out of that idea. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And satsang is just it's like coming in and instead of measuring, you've lost pounds or something, you just come in and there's the same sense of assuredness. Yeah. That little bit can push a mountain. It's that simple. I mean, because this time the faith is being matched with something true. Yeah, you're not, because faith in something that's not true needs tons of reinforcement. Faith in something that's true doesn't need any reinforcement at all. Yeah. So if there is any work, it would be seen in the beginning and doesn't continue. Yeah. Yeah, you're not yelling, I'm not that. It's just something that's been recognized. And what you used to assume to be you, about you, or you doing it isn't anymore. Yeah, yeah. And then all that movement and all those boats that you have been that were launched by these mistaken ideas, you stay in your own harbor. Yes, yes. Or just like every train you thought you took, you now realize you never left the station. Yeah, it works quite well. So the train, this too shall pass. It never takes you anywhere, because when you get off the train, how long did it take to get to the station? No time at all, because you never left the station. Yeah, this starts growing on you. I mean, the truth about the fabrication of this dreaming will, you don't have to constantly see it. It grows once you see it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I hope that's getting through. Yeah. But your head doesn't need to be understood. You're hearing it. That's the point. Yeah. The head's point is you have to understand what you're hearing. The point is the hearing of it. Because it's like putting water in something. The water is going to find its own level. You don't have to direct it. So Satsang gets in, does its little thing, and see where it takes you. Yeah. Yeah. And if you don't feel like you need to do anything else, that's a pretty good indication. If you stop seeking for the next big thing or whatever, that's a damn good indication, because you're not like doing it with your teeth gritted. I'm not going to see anyone. No, you lose interest in it all. You do. I mean, I would love when someone was let's say a DMT-5 explorer and went to the 11th dimensions. But as soon as I hear them and they have their little nameplate, Craig, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit where Craig went, because I know where Craig goes. I don't. So, I mean, that did not come about, I'm just going to not like, no, just lost interest in it completely. Everything that was launching boats of whatever got canceled. Yeah, seriously. That's an indication something is afoot. Yes. And that's why we say this is really a liberation from the need to be liberated. It's very, very important statement. The head has a need to be liberated. It's constantly looking for something. Yes. To be freed from that need to be liberated is the liberation. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Eric. Yes. Nice to see you. Yeah.
And Paul, Lynn D has her hand up. Lynn, come on in.
Lynn D.
Yeah, Lynn.
It's just nice to be back in the garage for satsang. There's hefty bags. I see a Buddha, but it's being used as a hat rack. Wow. Yes. All right. All right,
Hey,
Lindy.
Lynn,
My view is not of the hefty bags. I only see the Buddha behind you. Just thought I'd say that.
Yes.
From Zoom, we only see your Buddha nature.
That's cool, eh? It took me hours to get the right setting. No, I couldn't. The
My
other
favorite thing.
didn't work. I had to use the iPad. That's why I got that. No, yeah, it's pretty good.
I do have a question, Paul. You were talking about something was triggered. It was old. I haven't experienced it for years. I have a question. When you were experiencing those things that were, or your body was experiencing those things in the hospital, being mistreated, etc., you had a certain level of awareness because you were a certain age. What if something happened as an infant that was not good? What about, is it because, would I have to deal with that if I had, in other words, if there's
No.
not the awareness? That's what I thought. My therapist at the
Either you have to or you don't have to deal with it.
it comes up or it doesn't come up, correct?
It will come up, but coming up, you had nothing to do with. And it's great when stuff comes up because it's leaving. Yeah.
I understand. Oh, I get that. My question really is around if you have any understanding about something that's traumatic to the body as an infant when the awareness is not developed. What kind of impact does that leave to be released?
I really don't know. So again, there's no rote answer. So if there's a real feeling you have to do something about it, I would. If that real feeling I have to do something is sort of like a flash, and then you get disinterested and look at something else, and then it brings it back up maybe an hour or two later, I would question that. So if you really have
it's a
tell.
question. I don't feel the need to do anything, but the question keeps coming up over time. It's come up
We'll go there.
four times.
Yes, the head will go there. Yeah. But if you feel right now you don't need to do anything, then the best thing to do is not anything.
No,
Yeah.
yes.
It's sort
Okay.
of, you know, you ever see when you're, this is all about action figure world, but you have a pimple underneath your skin and then it starts growing, pushing up, and then there's like a whitehead. And then some people want to really squeeze that motherfucker. And so then they have a scar for a couple of days. If you just let that whitehead go, it's either going to pop or it goes away. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, you let the thing take its course and see what happens. Yeah.
Okay. That's been my approach. I just wanted to. Yeah. Thank you.
This didn't trigger anything today, but it was the most physically sensation I felt in a while. It was like, because I've been electrocuted in life many times. This was like a minor electrocution that reminded me of those being electrocuted by things, which were many, many, many times. So,
yes.
But there's no thoughts about it. There was no word, and there was nothing to do. But I didn't, you know, the sky thing was open, so it just bubbled out and dissipated. It was pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Great.
It had a very
Thank you.
A pimple. It did it in like 3 minutes. You know, pushed up and went out. Yeah, yeah. No scars to be found. I'm always surprised. Things happen all the time. You're walking around and just as you get older, you wake up and you feel like you've slept with Bruno Sammartino, the old heavyweight champion. It's just like, well, what the hell happened? I thought I was resting. You feel like someone's had your arm behind your back, demanding you choke up some cash or something. What is going on? You know, the sensations are they're so real in a way. The production is great. The production of this dreaming is a higher level production. It is. It really is. So, and then before you would think, when you get older, this goes away. But before you would think, what did I do to cause my knee to feel? Now you realize that you don't have to do anything. It goes out on its own. You could be living in a hermetically sealed situation. Things are just gonna yeah, I mean, the body's, especially in the morning, it's blazing when you wake up. You can't imagine, did I feel that the whole night? How did I survive this feeling? So yeah. Yeah, so, and then it all dissipates, you know what I mean? It's usually, if it doesn't, then you'll have to go to the hospital. But usually you get another free day and just do whatever you do. And I go to sleep willingly and I don't care. Yeah, this isn't a get out of jail free card. It isn't. It's just a traveling lighter card. And after you get weaned off of the magical, mystical thoughts ideas, it's a damn good card to get, the travel lighter card. It's a damn good card because it doesn't matter the destiny of the game board. It's just, you're going to travel through whatever it has in store for you. Yeah. Instead of hoping and wishing everything changes, your attitude changes and you're like, well, yeah. I love it. I love this message. I do, because I'm pretty much a slacker at heart, and it doesn't demand anything, really. It's the first thing that you can give a great amount of credit to doing nothing. It's fantastic. Yeah, and if something wants to reveal itself, it will. You're not knocking on doors. You're just sitting around in Novato. Yeah, yeah. So. But you'll lose, just look at some of the simple things. Look at the word my. I don't know what the my in other languages would be, like Vlad and stuff. But there's every language probably has the word my. Yeah. That if, as you're speaking this all day, it's the emphasis and the direction of a lot of meaning. So my never gets changed by what comes after, but changes everything it's before. Yeah. So my problem is different than problem. Yes. Big time different. Money, my money. Health, my health. My is it represents an incredible transfer of meaning to what comes after. Yeah. And all these people that are in the stocks transaction, everything, to me, this is the biggest transaction of all here, which is meaning being given and how meaning is given to things. And the vehicle, it's like the FedEx truck is mine. Yeah. The fucking Amazon is mine. Yeah. So that idea of my changes whatever comes after it. Yeah. That is the hatching of meaning. We can see it. Yeah, you can see it. You can see how this is dreaming, because you can see how meaning, nowhere to be found, is given when this word my is said. See, money, I want you to have a lot of money, but my money, I don't want you to have any of it. Yeah, it changes everything, that which comes after it, and whatever comes after it doesn't change it at all. This is a hierarchy of time. It's cool to see, because it will reinforce the sense of being the act of dreaming, because meaning is coming through wherever this is and is being given to things. Yes, things that are inherently empty, that have no meaning, are given meaning. This is a subjective dreaming. We are the tool for that subjective dreaming here. And yet we're busily looking at all these other transactions, but we don't see the greatest transaction, which is the giving of meaning. Yeah, all day. It's insane. It's insane to put so much attention on what comes after and so little attention on what's before, when what's before is what determines the after. The after does not determine the before, but the before definitely determines the after. And no one's watching that stock market going at all. And no one can weigh subjectiveness. Can't measure it. You can't quantify it. Yet it's the currency of this whole event. Yeah. You and I are giving meaning. We're giving everything all the meaning it has. You're not doing it. It's happening through you. Yeah. And just like the quality of the picture of the camera isn't based on the camera, it's based on the lens. Yes. And if you have a plastic lens at where all lenses start, the first one's plastic, it doesn't matter how clear the other lenses are, they're going to be defined by the plastic. We're looking out of a very dark place, in a sense. We're blind. And in that blindness, we have appointed or something, the head has appointed itself to be the guide to lead us. And it talks to us all fucking day like it's like our guide. Yes. There's so many other ways to go, literally. You know? So I don't care about to know the meaning. Everything is given meaning. The feeling of that is the message to me. You feel it. You feel that's what's been going on. Instead of being described as a guy, 6'1", this, grew up here, likes fucking horror movies, this and that, that description is flimsy at best. But when you're described as an activity, it's awesome. So you and I are the dreaming of the dreaming. You can feel that. How does that happen? Watch. What meaning is given to a problem? What meaning is given to my problem? Hugely freaking difference. Yeah. Wouldn't that be, to me, that's incredibly interesting to know what's going on, because we have a huge amount of opinions about everything else that's going on, but we don't even know how everything else is going on. The Course in Miracles is quite good with it. It's heavy slogging with the language, but what it's saying is, you and I are not in a dream. We're not in someone else's dream. We're the dreaming of it. We are not a noun that's in someone else's dream or in God's dream. We're the dreaming. We are the verbing of stillness manifesting. It's happening through us, in a sense. Not us, it happens with us or as us, as this vehicle. Yeah. So you and I give everything all the meaning it has. We forget that. How do we do that? Pretty interesting. Well, I would say by being identified as the dreamt. So now the verb of the dreaming gets lost because we take ourselves be a noun in the dreamt. And now how we suss out verbing, we think we're the ones that's doing it. And it produces pride, guilt, shame, remorse, fucking nostalgia, all this stuff of ownership. Yes. But in fact, we aren't giving everything all the meaning it has. Something is giving everything all the meaning it has to us. Yeah. People want to know exactly where their coffee was grown, how much, get a scale and weigh it. They put the exact amount, only 8 seconds flash thing, yet they have no idea what's going on. Yeah, it's insane to me, literally. So, yeah. You don't know shit. You're going to sense it. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel when you hear something that's true, you're going to feel it differently than a lot of other stuff. And maybe it'll be accompanied by an aha that was before the thoughts could get their hands on it, or an unspoken yes or something, but there's going to be a recognition in the event that there's something going on. And hopefully it will be as profound as it has been with me and bring this conclusion of the last answer to this whole freaking topic. Yeah. Just be done with it. And then you'll completely be in Novato when you're in Novato. You'll completely be in fucking Dover, New Jersey when you're in Dover, New Jersey. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Anyone else?
Yeah, Paul, Stephen R.
Stephen R. All right, Stephen.
Unmute, Stephen.
I forgot there was a Zoom there. I zoomed out of the Zoom. Yes.
Mute button, Stephen.
Stephen, talk to me, but it's going to her. Yes. There you go. So I'm just do it.
He can't figure out the mute right now, Paul.
You got to mute, Steve.
We're asking you to unmute there, Stephen. Hit your mute
He's
button.
trying. Do you unmute him, John, or he does?
I can only ask him to unmute. I can.
All right, Steve, we'll get back to you. Just jump in when you get it. Anyone else, John?
That's all the hands I see, Paul.
All right, well, we'll wait for a second, see if he makes it.
All right.
30 seconds. 29, 28, 27,
26,
26, 25, 24, 23, 22. Screw it. Let's go. We'll be around again. You can ask it again. Anyone else? Everyone's cool? Yeah.
No more hands, Paul.
Yeah. So Buddhism, emptiness, yeah? Emptiness. Empty of what? Of reality. Yes. Or really empty of meaning. Empty. Then the emptiness is given meaning. Dreaming. Yeah. Then the event of the dreaming seems to be had by an object, but it's a subjective experience. Subjective experience loses interest in the object, now realizes it was the subject all the while, and there's the big mistake. You're not that. Yeah. So the objective view gets sort of canceled, negated, and then the newfound subjective view is also negated. And then there's the awareness. Yes? Consciousness, I do not believe, is in the same definition of awareness. I believe you can be aware of being conscious. I don't believe you can be conscious of being aware. Yeah, so there you go. Chew that a little bit. Check it out. Spit it out if it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. Yeah. The dilemma is many of us are trying to get out. Lola, come here. Many of us are trying to get out of what we're not in and in of what we're not out of. You see, we're trying to get in and out, but we're trying to get in what we're not out of, and we're trying to get out of what we're not in. This whole thing is like Bizarro World. Why do you have to get to the 800th example of Bizarro World? You can see it right there. Most movements are trying to get in, yes, into something we're not out of, and trying to get out of something we're not in. Yeah. Let that hit you. Sit there. And maybe the way the cards get shuffled will be different next time. And then maybe the meaning you've given to the cards of life may change. Maybe you'll see the 2 is the highest one in the deck instead of the ace. Yeah, who knows? You'll find out. Yeah, yeah. All right, well, we're going to end, I think, now. If no one has anything to say.
No more hands, Paul.
Hey, John, Florida, thank you so much. Do a great job. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man.
You have found relief, bro,
Yes,
from the bondage of self.
incredible relief.
There you
It's
go.
yeah. Since I met you guys, it's night and day. Night and day.
Fantastic. And
Yeah, man. Thank you.
yes, there's no end of it, no beginning of it. There you go.
Yes.
All right. We got Eric in Santa Barbara. Yeah. Nice to see you, Eric. Yeah. We've got Mary Champagne. Ah, very nice, Mary. Vlad, as always, in Portugal. Yeah, it's nice to see you, Vlad. Yeah. Axel, our man in Germany. We got Johannes. He's been with us. Nice to see you, Johannes, all these times. Raven. Always a pleasure, Raven. Yep. Mary McNulty. Wow, fantastic. My mother's name was Mary Margaret McCarthy. Wow. Chris H. Hey, Roman. He was just having a hit of a cigarette. You didn't see that. It's so small. You need a microscope to see it. But he's very, yeah, he's incredibly sneaky. And he has the first infinite fanny pack I've ever seen. He puts his hand in and it can go up to his elbow and he comes out with something every freaking time. It's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, Dave W. Nice to see you, Dave. I don't know if I can get on to any other page. I just lost the whole thing. I better not do anything because, hey, oh yeah, so some people here. I can't see you right now, everyone. Oh, wait a minute, I can. Oh, here they are. Wow, I just went down, I saw them. All right, we got Ernie. Nice to see you, Ernie. Just ride the wave, Ernie. It's easy. Jamie, always. Mike, Mike Clark from Mexico. We've got, he's changed his name. Wabi Bukowski, or that was his original name. My mother told me the brother from another mother was called Walter, but he mustn't be him. All right. I didn't know it was Wabi. Keith, nice to see you, Keith, as always. Josh, nice, very, very colored shirt there. Nice to see you, bro. Diona is a lifetime member of Zen Bitzla. Very nice. Yeah. Annette, New York. She's squatting in some house, I think. I don't know what's going on. Saraswati, always a pleasure to see Saraswati. She gives me such lenience. I love it. Very nice. Thank you. Yes. Eric from Vista. Martin, my man. Nice to see you, Martin. I talked to the guy that knows the website. He's going to try to get back to me. He's somewhere named Sky, but if you can't do it, we'll take care of it. Stephen Matt, nice to see you on Having Never Left. Kerry, it's a pleasure. I met Kerry in Hawaii, and yeah, he's still there. Got a beautiful house now. Lynn D, yes, yeah. You know, there's a nice question, Lindy, to ask yourself occasionally. What is it you know that you don't want to know? Yeah, it's a good one. So when you seem to be confused, it may not be for the reason you think. You just ask yourself, what is it I know that I don't want to know? So the head may not want to know something because it's getting something from it, and it feels like it's got the right proportion of losing and winning, but you know it's probably not going to work out. So what is it I know that I don't want to know? Which is, yeah. Eric, nice to see you.
Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Angelica G. Rick Rowe, you're a lifetime member, Rick. Yes, you are. Zoe Banks, she is definitely a lifetime member. She, no matter what continent or island or whatever. Yes, you're always protected by the Zen Bislap iron shield. All right, we got Kaylin, Lynn B, Josh. Oh, Holly, I just lost your picture. There it is, Holly A. Nice to see you, Holly. Jet. Oh, Jas in London. Miak, we missed Miak. She wasn't here. Wow. Travis, up in Santa Rosa. Soren, and some phone numbers. Hey, thanks everyone. Had a lovely time. Not understanding's not all that it's cracked up to be, especially with this message. This message should cause a misunderstanding or a frustration of not understanding. That's a very good sign the understanding is working. Truly. Because it's not going to try to revamp the old understanding, it's going to replace it. Yeah. So the old understanding is be confused, I don't get it. And then at the same time, something is getting it without that idea of getting it. Yes. So it's going to replace the old understanding with a new one. It's not a rehab the old one. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thanks. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
Paul.
Paul. Thank you.
Paul.